Hey, this is Luke Simons with Salt Strong. In this video, we're going to cover how to get back up in the kayak after flipping over. We recently published an article with 11 tips on kayak fishing, and this was the most common question that came up. We never did address it, and I've never personally flipped over in a kayak, but I'm about to pretty soon for this video. But I've done some research on different ways to get back up into it. And what I've done is I selected kind of like a worst case scenario where this kayak, it's a very narrow kayak. It's under 30 inches wide, which is more narrow than most. The reason why we got this one, I love it personally, is because it goes through the water. It's like a dart. You can go long distances, but it's not very stable. So I chose an unstable kayak. Also, another bad thing that I'm doing that I don't recommend is to not have a life jacket on, because having the life jacket on will just be more buoyancy, which will help you just get back up into it more easily. So I'm just going to kind of give like a worst case scenario, and then again I'll just cover the tips. And what I've found is that the best way is just a series of 3 steps, and you don't go to the next step until the first one is completed. So the first step is of course, assuming that the kayak is back upright, is to just get yourself up onto the kayak so that your belly button is right here in the middle of it. So step number 1, get your belly button in the middle of the kayak, and don't do anything else until you're stable. As soon as you're stable, at that point you can then just do like a twist, like get your butt basically. So twist over, get your butt in this section, and as soon as you're stable with that, then move your feet back into place. And then obviously once you're there, you're back in business. And if you try to do it too fast, that's what most people try to. That's what most people fail, and they'll try to do it too fast, and they'll end up going over the other side, and eventually get too worn out. And some people have heard can't even get back into it. So biggest thing is just not panic. You know, the kayak floats, assuming you have one of these sit on top kayaks. It will float, so worst case, just hold on to it and wait for help. But again, if you follow these 3 simple steps and just don't panic, you should be okay. And at the very end, we'll show just a really cool way to use some extra gear that you might have in case you are having trouble, just to help you further propel yourself on here and have just more stability. Go ahead and do it. All the way over. So first step is just get your gear. Just get whatever gear you need. All I have, fortunately, is not much here. It's have my hat, my paddle, and the kayak. Assuming it's flipped over like this, I hear water going into it right now, so I want to flip it back over as soon as possible. Get the paddle somewhere where you know it is, where it's safe. And then what you do is just climb over it and pull it, and just pull it back over. So now you have your kayak. It's stable. It's not taking on any water. You can take your time. Again, just don't panic. It's not going to sink. Where water was coming in was right here under this hatch. So we did take on a little bit of water, but it's not much. And again, as far as getting back up, good again, just keep your paddle under control. And in this case, we're going to put it under this little bungee cord. So now I don't have to worry about that paddle going anywhere. So again, step number 1 is to just lunge forward, get my belly button right up in this section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one hand on this little tool here. Other hand I'm going to go up here. I'm going to get my feet up close to the surface back behind. Let me kick the paddle away because I'm kicking it. All right, let me actually pull away from the boat. All right. So again, we got paddle out of the way. We've got one hand on this near side, other hand on the far side. I'm gonna get my belly button right here, just with a quick kick, and at the same time, I'm gonna pull myself up with both hands. So 1, 2, 3. All right. So again, wait till we're stable. So we're stable here. We're good. Now it's a matter of flipping over and getting the butt. That's the hard part. There, getting your butt right there in this section. And again, don't try to do anything else. Don't try to get fancy. Take your time. Got our paddle here. Our kayak isn't taking on any more water. And now at this point, it's just simple as just putting your feet in. So now we're in here, we're stable. We got our paddle that was in place. And now we can just go on our way and just have nothing but a little bit of water on us. All right, we just got back in the kayak without any extra help from other items. But if we were having trouble, just a simple item like a cooler could really be helpful if used properly. And what I'll be doing is this cooler, obviously it floats. It has this ring on here, and one of the biggest hurdles is just propelling the body up. So what I could do is I could put my foot in this part of the cooler, and use that as just an extra force to help me get up out of the water. So let me go ahead and get my paddle up under control again. So now I'm gonna have really 3 ways to propel myself up. I'm gonna have both hands up on the kayak, and I'm gonna have my foot in the cooler. And really with the foot in the cooler, I can actually worked out way better than I planned. So with just putting my foot in the cooler and pushing it down, it literally just threw me all the way up out of the water. So if you are going fishing in a kayak, would definitely recommend having a cooler like this. Keep your drinks cold, and could save you if you are in trouble. All right, well, that's the tip. Again, it's really not that difficult getting back in a kayak. It just takes thinking, just staying calm, taking advantage of items you might have on you, like this cooler. That worked out way better than I thought it would. That's my first time trying it, and it literally just shot me right up in there. I didn't even have to go through step number 1, 2, 3. I basically did step number 1 and 2 all at once, and it was much less effort. So if you are going kayaking, I recommend grabbing a cooler like this. You can keep your drinks, of course, your drinks cold, sandwiches cold, and if you do get into trouble, it's just a really good flotation tool that you can use, again, if it actually comes up to that case. I've never personally had to use anything like this, but it is nice to know that it is possible, and I certainly learned something today. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Otherwise, hope to see you again soon.
There's something about the water that'll give you peace, all by yourself or with your family. Live salt strong and where to